All right, today we're going to talk about Heritage Labs skis and how they compare to the King. Heritage Labs skis is a company started by my buddy Marshall Olson down in Salt Lake. And essentially, his mission has been to resurrect amazing skis that are either hard to get or kind of pay tribute to other models, like the BMT and Katana, and put them into kind of more livable type performance. So right here I have his C105 and C113. Both are part of his backcountry carbon collection. Both of these shapes, as I understand, are available in more of an inbounds build, which would be labeled like FR105 or FR113, both of which is going to be more free ridey, resort oriented, and the weights bump up a few hundred grams. Comparably, the 105 is going to be most comparable to the 109, whereas the 113 is going to be most comparable to the Katana, like I got right here. Okay, and then old school, he's also got the C132, which is most comparable to kind of like a Lotus 138. As I understand, Marshall did used to actually design for DPS. So these 138s I've had for a full season. They went with me to Japan, and they had many deep days here, and they look in amazing shape. I mean, this is a touring ski that's been used inbounds a lot. And you can see they are in immaculate shape. Have zero complaints with them. Build quality is literally the exact same as I remember my old Lotus 138s to be. Got that little fine textured top sheet. The graphics, everything turned out amazing. Anyway, back to the main comparison. So Marshall himself says that these are basically designed to kind of split the difference between a forefront and a volkl. So Marshall wanted the progressivity, the kind of soft snow performance and float of a forefront, but to have kind of the backbone charger heritage of the volkls, right? So stiffness wise, it's all based off of a tip-based flex pattern. Okay, so generally the concept that volkl shares is to have a slightly stiffer tip and then a softer tail. And what that enables is that if you bash into something stiff, like an ice chunk or something like that, and you get thrown back, that tail is not going to act as a springboard and then lurch you forward. You're going to get slowly smacked backwards, and then that tail is going to help you correct back into position. Okay, so it works, and it's a pretty awesome concept. Now, the difference is that volkl's rocker profiles, you can even see here, stay very low. So you can see that volkl is so subtle and stays so close, even though it is full reverse camber. I mean, it basically almost looks dead flat, although in theory it goes all the way and it is a true reverse camber. Heritage Labs, they have a little more rise, and that's evident right there. So these are going to float better. They're going to pick up and start to plane a little easier. More comparable, but still not as extreme as a forefront. So you can just see right there. Move this out of the way. Forefront has even more rise and more extreme rocker, right, on both ends. Okay. So Heritage Labs, like volkl, has way more edge contact than a forefront. And a forefront tip is also going to be softer than a Volkl or Heritage Lab tip. As far as actual stoutness and flex pattern, without getting into the weeds, I would say that overall the C105 is slightly softer than the BMT. And this is a little more, the 113 is a little stouter than the 109, but not as much as a Katana. So they're both maybe step down in overall stiffness. However, I do feel that volkl's pattern is it can feel kind of hingy at times. Like there's certain points where the ski wants to flex and certain areas where it doesn't. And the flex pattern of the Heritage Labs is quite homogeneous, which is a nice feel. Paper-wise, I do believe the Heritage Labs have slightly higher stated turn radius. But they all feel quite similar to the skis that they were inspired by. So if you like Forefront and if you like Volkl, you're definitely going to like Heritage Labs, and they're going to be a high-performing ski. Other couple winners, and I'll bring out Marshall's other ski here. This is the BC 109, or excuse me, the BC 90, my favorite top sheet of the bunch. The other nice thing compared to Volkl is that these are coming in comparable weights, maybe 100 grams lighter, compared to each respective counterpart. In the case of the 113, I believe it's more like 200 grams. BC 90 off the top of my head is just under 1,500 grams. Also, compared to stated lengths, they do come in about a centimeter longer than the stated length. Whereas, other skis, such as the Faction La Machine, that one will come in 2 centimeters under. So you're getting the full amount of ski that you order with these. You can see right here that the 90, it even has a lower. It's probably most comparable profile-wise to the BMTs as far as a little lower slung, but still overall a higher tip height that's going to help you to plane. I've skied prototype versions of both of these, so I'm confident in how they hold up. And like I said, that's been production for 2 years, and it's excellent. 0 complaints. So other advantages besides coming in slightly less weight is that obviously you can use any binding, whereas Volkl's, you got air channels, so you can only use either marker branded or wide mount, such as like a not marker alpinist, like a Solomon MTN binding, some of the ATKs. Those are the only ones that will actually fit in the air, outside of the air channels that run into that ski. Whereas this, you could mount up with any race binding. It's going to work perfectly. Yeah, so overall, like I said, you're getting kind of slightly more tourable weights, options to run more bindings, very similar feel. You're splitting the difference between Forefront and Volkl as far as performance. You're going to get more probably float and soft snow performance like a Forefront out of these, but these are going to be a lot more livable in hard pack, and they're also going to be, when you really push into the ski, they have a lot more backbone than a Forefront. So they're going to return that energy a lot more like a Volkl. Marshall kind of offers his skis to be mounted kind of the same as Faction does, where he has a recommended mount point, and then it kind of varies, similar to Factions, where they have they have a classic, progressive, and new school. Marshall has all of these specs listed, and you can just, when he sends you the skis, he'll send you the information on recommended mount point based off of the feel that you would like out of the ski. Now, a lot of people don't understand reverse camber, and I probably should just do a whole video on it. But in the meantime, I just want to explain something, because I feel like people don't get this. They're like, okay, how, and this is just to show how extreme reverse camber can be. So you can see literally only a single point is together before it bananas back out. And what people don't understand is that they're like, oh, well, you're going to have no edge contact. How the hell can you ski? Okay. Well, there's two things that you're missing out on. One, flex pattern and just weight of skier, right? Even with camber or without camber, when the ski is weighted and on edge and being pushed in, okay, the entire edge of the ski is touching. Okay? So with skier weight and getting the ski on edge, you will have edge contact, even though if I was to put this flat on the ground, literally only here is touching right now. Okay? So that means that when you're on edge, you can be as locked in as you want. And then you can flatten out the ski, feather it, shift it as easily as you want, and then get it back on edge and lock it in however you want. That's what enables you to ski different snow types. It's what enables that surfy feel, but also enables you to make pretty much any turn shape you want. Okay. The other thing that I want to point out is that when the skis are not on high edge angle, okay, so if I'm doing jumping turns on ice, okay, for instance, then all of my force is concentrated right under the binding area, okay? So unlike a ski with camber and rocker where the contact points are going to be out here and out here, okay, now all my contact is going to be right underneath my boot. So when I jump and I land right on my boot, it's getting all that extra force to push that edge in and make it feel ultra secure, okay? Whereas on a cambered ski, the contact points are going to be out here. And when I do that perfect jump turn, these 2 points are going to try to fight. One might grip up on some funky snow. The angle might be slightly off. And it's going to give you a teeter-totter effect. And it's not fun, okay? These, if you remain balanced and flick around, you will land perfect and lock in every single time onto the ice, instead of having that fucking seesaw effect of the ski wanting to hook up there and back there and not able to find the snow. And it's also exacerbated by skis that have extreme side cut. And as you can see, just like volkl, these skis are extremely straight, okay? Which just adds to their performance when you get them over on edge. All right, that's all I got. So Heritage Labs, first look. I was thinking the title of this should be Heritage Labs, a heritage of awesome, because volkls are awesome, forefronts are awesome, and Heritage Labs to give you a splitting the difference of two of the best companies, in my opinion, to provide a high quality ski that's a little more livable from a touring perspective, both in touring weights and performance. Here you go. To be clear, this is not a copy ski. This is a ski that is inspired by those shapes with Marshall's own flavor of, like I said, getting the best of both worlds. So go out and snag yourself a pair. Marshall has the best guarantees in the biz, crash replacements, upgrades, money back guarantee based on if you don't like the skis. And if you don't like the skis, then you obviously have poor taste. So go out, snag a pair, and guarantee that you'll have a good time. Also, lastly, I have no relationship with Marshall other than we banter back and forth about skis. He doesn't pay me, no exchange of money. I didn't get a discount on any of these. Okay, I paid full price, and I'd gladly do it again, because in my opinion, you might be losing a small amount of like super high-end performance from the volkl, as far as volkl's a little stiffer, little damper, okay? But these are almost half the price, and I would say that they're easily 9 out of 10 the performance. And And like I said, the ability to mount whatever binding you want and all these other things could easily sway a person to say that they're overall higher performing. All right, cool. That's all I got.